Hey, welcome back to Rethinking Retail. We're really excited about today's session where we're going to be tackling the one and done buyer problem. We hear from a ton of retailers that a lot of their customers are coming to their store and making a first purchase, but they're really struggling in getting them back to make a second and third and fourth subsequent purchase from your store. So we're going to talk about how you can increase the stickiness of your new customers and hope that you can increase the lifetime value and get people coming back and sticking with your brand or store for much longer. So let's dive in and look at the problem that a lot of you are facing today. For all of the retailers that Bluecore works with, we see that 80% of customers are one-time buyers. And that's obviously a huge problem, but at the same time, a huge opportunity, right? You've got a huge share of your customer here that you can tap into and get them to buy again. You already know what they purchased, so it theoretically should be pretty easy to personalize messages to get them to come back again. And that has a huge impact in your bottom line, right? If you can get a customer to go from 1 to 2 purchases, you can increase their lifetime value by up to 130%. And that's mainly because once you get a buyer to go from 1 purchases to 2 purchases, you're increasing their chance of an additional purchase by 95%, right? So 2-time buyers have a much higher likelihood of buying again, becoming 3-time buyers, and then those folks go on and continuously have up to a 70% chance of making another purchase. So huge opportunity of getting from that hurdle of 1 purchase to a second purchase, increasing their lifetime value and the chances of them coming back to your store and sticking with your brand for years to come. So it's probably pretty obvious that if you can get a customer to make another purchase from your store, their spend and their lifetime value is going to increase. Unfortunately, a lot of retailers are not successful in doing this, right? Like we said, 80% of people are only one-time buyers. So there are 2 levers that we think that you can pull in order to personalize messages to get customers to come back and make that second purchase. And those are the timing and the content of what to include in those messages. So one way that Bluecore thinks about approaching this problem is to look back at your historical purchase data and identify customers who have in fact made that second purchase, take a lot of insights and learnings from that cohort of customers and apply those to first-time buyers. So let's look at how we can do this. So 1, we calculate the time to a customer's next purchase. So we typically see that on a scale here of 100 days that the shorter time frame from when someone made that first purchase, the more likely they are to make their next. So within 100 days, we see about 50% of customers making that second purchase. So that 100-day window is really the key time frame of when you want to act and get customers to come back and make another purchase, right? After you leave this window of 100 days, there are still customers making that next purchase, but a lot lower likelihood of reaching customers and getting them to come back, right? So that first 100 days is key and on an average level. We'll talk about in another video about how you can take an advanced look at this and look at the content and the types of products that people purchase, right? Because someone who buys a pair of jeans is going to act very differently than someone who bought a t-shirt. So different time frames will apply to different categories, but when you're getting started, use the average time frame here, right? So within 100 days, and then when we look at your data specifically, you may see that day 54 is the median or the average time frame of when most customers come back to make that next purchase. So that helps us with the timing of when we want to make sure that we're in front of the customers with the right messages to get them to come and make their second purchase. Let's talk about the content a little bit. So here is a breakdown of different categories that customers are buying for their first time. So here we're looking at shirts, pants, shorts, and shoes, right? So these are the most popular first purchases for a given retailer. And then on this row here, we're looking at the most common second purchases. So shirts, pants, shorts, and shoes. Not surprisingly, we see that a lot of customers will buy this from the same category as their last purchase. So just a sample here, right? So you can see in orange here, customers who bought shirts, majority of them will buy shirts again. Customers who bought shorts, majority of them will buy shorts again, right? So we can use that information to personalize content to customers, right? You bought this shirt last time, here are other shirts you may like. Or if it's a replenishable product, here's the same exact product that you bought 64 days ago, and we think it's time for you to refill that. So you can use both the timing and the content to put together nice journeys for customers to nurture them and get them to come back and convert for that precious second time. So now that we've got all of these insights from customers who have purchased again, let's take some action on your one-time buyers. So we can build a couple email templates to put together a journey for your one-time buyers, right? And we can use these insights that we talked about to nail down the timing of when these emails should go out, as well as the content. So if we use an example placeholder here, you can see we've got spots to dynamically pull in content and products based on what we know someone is likely to purchase next. So a pants customer who bought pants for their first time from your store may get a mix of shirts and shoes, because we see that those are the other categories that people purchase in next. But knowing that they're most likely to purchase pants again, we'd recommend featuring those prominently within the template. So hopefully that'll help your customers make their next purchase. And from there, you really want to focus on expanding and increasing their lifetime value even more. So ways that we've seen retailers have success in doing that is by, one, getting customers to complete their look. So getting that pants buyer to buy shoes or a shirt from your store helps increase the categories that they're in, and then they'll continuously repurchase within those categories. And we want to get them into a brand new category. So if you're a department store or a retailer offering a wide variety of products, there's a lot of opportunity to introduce customers to the right category. And then lastly, you want to help nurture them within the category that they've originally purchased in, right? So ideally you want the pants buyer to, one, buy a shirt from you. You want to introduce them into a new category, and then you want them to continuously buy that pair of pants and shirts from your store to have them coming back and making repeat purchases from your store. So I hope you've been inspired by this approach to solving that one and done buyer problem. Hope you tune in next time to another episode of Rethinking Retail. See you soon.